So I think it will be useful to have one universal way of spelling Hebrew words in English letters, because the Hebrew alphabet, not everyone can read it, and there is no one universal way to spell Hebrew words in English letters. And that's because English doesn't have certain sounds that Hebrew does. So for example, Hanukkah, somebody spell it with a GH or a CH or just an H, because there's no H in Hebrew, in English. Or words like Tzfat, the city. I've seen so many different variations of how people spell it. With a TS, with a C, with a Z, because there is no T in English. So I wanted to test out this system that I made, and you tell me what you think. So let's start. Aleph, A, I, E, O, U. Those are the sounds that the word Aleph, the letter Aleph can make, and it will depend on the word. Bet can make a B or a V. Gimel, Gimel can make a G or a J. Also depends on the word. Daled can make only D, that's it. Hey makes a H sound, like Hayom, today, Hayom. Vav usually makes a V sound, but originally it's supposed to make a W sound. So I think even you pronounce it as V, it should be a W. Like for example, the word in the Bible, and God said to the people, Vayomer Hashem, today is pronounced V, but originally it's supposed to be Wa, Vayomer. And if you go to a Yemenite synagogue, they still pronounce it Wa. So that's why I think W, even Vav, even you pronounce it as a V, which is the more modern way to pronounce it, it should be a W. So Wa. Zayin can make two sounds, either Z or J. Now the difference between J and J, the J is like DJ or Jamaica. It's the J, the English way of pronouncing the sound. Je is the French way to pronounce it, like je t'aime. It's a more soft sound, so I just wrote JH. Ha is the Hebrew letter Het. Most people pronounce Ha and Ha the same way. Originally, this one is supposed to be Ha, like Halom, a dream, and this is supposed to be a more Ha, like Tchelet. There is a slight difference between Ha and Ha, but most people don't actually pronounce it today. Funny enough, Yemenites again, they do pronounce it properly. If you hear Yemenite speaks, they would say Halom, Halon, and Kachol. So that's the different Has. This one would be a GH and this one would be a KH or a K, because if there is a little dot, if there is a little dot inside the Kaf, then it's pronounced K, like Kita. T is T, it's just T. This one, Yud, is actually supposed to be pronounced as a Y. So, for example, the word Israel, most people just pronounce it as an E, Israel, but it's actually supposed to be pronounced Yi, Yisrael. Many people don't pronounce it like that today, so there is no difference between Israel and Yisrael, but it's supposed to be pronounced Israel, which is Israel. So it's supposed to be spelled with a Y. Kaf, I mentioned earlier. Lamed is a L, Mem is a M, that's a N, Nun. Samech is a S. Now, Ayin is very similar to Aleph. Okay, there's almost no difference. Except for Ayin is more from the throat. It's supposed to be pronounced Ayin. So the difference between Arnav, bunny, and Avatiach, a watermelon, and Akum, curved. Akum, Anavim, Ani, which is a poor person, versus Ani, which is me. Ani, Ani. I am a poor person. That's the... So I put this little symbol on top of letters who are with Ayin, but it's really, since it's not a very big deal, and if you don't want to type and spend time of making this letter, people will understand if you don't spell it like that. P, F, P, F. The pay can make both sounds. Now, this one is a bit confusing. In certain Slavic languages that uses that use not Cyrillic but Latin letters, this letter is pronounced as a t, not a c. It's a t, t. Okay, the letter tzadik, t, tzadik. But if you put a little, I don't remember how this symbol is called, like that, then it's a ch, ch, like check. Kuf, k, reish, r. Shin is can be either sh, like sheket, quiet, or s, like simcha. Actually, simha, because it's with a chet. And of course, a t is actually supposed to be pronounced th, but most people today pronounce it as a t. So there is almost no visible difference between this letter t and this letter t. But historically, this one is pronounced th, not a t. And this one is pronounced more like a t. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to read out what I wrote here with this system, and especially Hebrew speakers, try to tell me what you think. לדעתי זאת הדרך הכי נוחה. Sorry, hold on. לדעתי זאת הדרך הכי נכונה לכתוב בעברית באותיות לטיניות. And here's some letter, and here's some separated words. כיתה, כחול, חנוכה, חלום, חבר, כוח, לכתוב, לחכות. Now, over here, there is like a little symbol I put next to the resh, because it's not pronounced nira, it's pronounced nir'a. But why did it... Hold on. Autocorrect. I don't need autocorrect here. Anyway, this sentence over here would be pronounced זה נראה קצת מבלבל, אבל אני חושב שאפשר להתרגל לזה. It means, it looks a bit confusing, but I think we can get used to it. Now here's some more letters. ציפור, צלחת, צלקת, צימוק, לכתוב, לך, צ'ק. לעשות כביסה. נחליאלי קטן, ראיתי בגן, זנב לו ארוך ויפה. You see, even I pronounce the ויפה. It's supposed to be ויפה, but there is also a cultural aspect. סינור שחור קטן על החזה. לא ניתר לו קפץ, רק רץ 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 רץ. I hope you enjoyed this video, and tell me what you think about this system, if you like it or not.